Come on, let's hear it for Eric Trump. First of all, thanks to all of you for being here. I think it's very, very important that we show our support for President Trump and the Trump family. I have spoken to the president recently about the lobster industry, and he is very, very concerned on the plight of our fishermen, our dealers, and our processors, and he is intent on helping. He understands that we have faced critical problems, and particularly this year with coronavirus makes it even worse. But he is working very hard at it, and I've heard people say it's more than just the fishermen, and I agree. The dealers and the processors also need support and help. He can't do it all in one day, but he's going to get it done. You know, we have an issue with the right whales. We have an issue with the wind industry who wants to take the fishermen off the ocean, and we were going to fight back, and we're going to win this battle for you. It is extremely critical that we re-elect President Trump for 4 more years. More years. 4 more years. I was your governor when Obama and Biden ran the White House. And they totally forgot us here in Maine and ignored us in Maine. In fact, President Obama tried to take you fishermen off the waters. So it's not only important that we re-elect President Trump, but we also have to make sure that we send our senior senator back to Washington. We need to keep the Senate. It's very, very important. The last thing you want to see is the Silicon Valley oligarchs take over the Senate. And that's what they're trying to do to us. And along with that, we have 2 very bright candidates for Congress, and we need both CD1 and CD2 to go Republican. We need to fight back against the socialists. And ladies and gentlemen, one more big hand for Eric Trump.
I'm not a real big speaker, so I'm glad they cut this short for me, but it's supposed to be about 5 minutes, going to be about 2, so. My name's Seth Doobie. I'm a 6th generation lobster fisherman, 3rd generation out of Camp Ellis here, you know, and there's nothing more than I'd like to see my boy become the 7th generation. And, growing up here, there's been a lot of changes. Some good, some not so good. You know, there used to be 2 year-round stores that were open, multiple lobster pounds, restaurants, and pretty substantial size dragon fleet out of here, which is, as you can see, is gone now. The ground fishermen were regulated out of business, along with the Maine shrimp fishery, forcing families to find other jobs and a means to make a living. And we can't let the same thing happen to the Maine lobster industry. The Trump administration has become a driving force to protect the fishery against unfair tariffs, and Maine lobster can now compete with our Canadian competitors in the global market. Our president reopened closed fishing grounds for us, and worked with former Governor Paul LePage against unfair regulations rules against our fishing industry. And that's the reason why in November 3rd, I'm going to vote again for the second time for President Donald J. Trump. Thank you very much for your time, and God bless America.
Well, tough act to follow between LePage yelling at us and him speaking so much reason. I'm grateful to be here with you folks today. My trip down to the RNC was a lot of fun. I got to meet a lot of nice people and explain some of the issues that we've been dealing with. The EU tariff, which he spoke about, which came about under the Clintons back when the EU was formed, and the Clintons, the Bushes, and Obama Biden ignored our plight. We were still in the same boat with the Canadians, so we were both levied this tariff, but the Canadians got their act together and they got that tariff lifted. But it wasn't a priority with Biden and Obama. And I'm thankful that President Trump made it a priority. And that's going to help our dealers. It takes effect in October, but when it takes effect in October, it's supposed to be retroactive to August. So they're supposed to, I don't know who's going to give them the money back, but they're supposed to. I had a bunch of different things I was going to say, and it's all left me now. But I would say, you know, the USDA program that just came out recently that we heard about, that's a huge boost for our fishermen. Our fishermen represent 5,000 small businesses. That's 10,000 families. So each boat usually has one sternman on average. And so you've just boosted, you've just given a shot in the arm to these fishing families and these businesses that, and from a fund of money which was already there, which was directed by this president to help Maine fishermen. And it's not just Maine lobstermen, but it's all commercial fishermen. There's all kinds of species that were affected by this. There was a formula they went through. They figured that we were docked 50 cents, that we lost a pound. And he's made sure that we're going to get that. And I'm very grateful for that, and Maine fishermen are thankful for that. Another thing I'd like to say is one of the big things I think that is such a plus and such a draw for Governor LePage and the president is they're problem solvers. And when you get a problem solver come into the room and look at some of these issues that have been going on for a long time, like Mr. Trump's going to talk about with this mess out here, something that goes on for years, and the problem solver comes along and starts to fix that. Well, there's some people that's depended on dealing with that problem for years, and they don't want to really deal with it. It's kicked down the road. So as a fisherman and as a Mainer, I mean, we're all maniacs here, and we want to fix problems. So that's why this time I'm voting for President Trump, and without any more flapping my gums up here, as my wife would say, as a multi-generational fisherman, I'd like to introduce a multi-generational businessman, the son of the president, the 45th president of the United States, Eric Trump.
I appreciate it. Well, guys, thank you. By the way, how great was he at the RNC? You spoke on, was it Monday or Tuesday? Tuesday, yeah, we spoke on the same night. I remember that. I was watching, you were a couple minutes before me. You gave the greatest speech, and honestly, it's, you know what was amazing? You look at the difference between the RNC and the DNC, right? Well, first of all, their whole thing was an absolute clown show, right? It was, the production value was that of literally children putting the thing on when you're talking about the DNC, but it's actually amazing. Everybody that we had were real people. I mean, it was such an honor to see you up there. And guys, this isn't just lobster fishermen. This is loggers out of Minnesota. This is oil and gas out of Pennsylvania and Ohio. I mean, when you look at what Obama and when you look at what Biden did, they didn't give a damn. They sent all of our jobs overseas. You know, look at NAFTA, right? All of us know NAFTA very well. It's one of the things that Biden signed on to. It's kind of interesting, right? We lost 70,000 factories after NAFTA was signed. Guess what? They went to China, they went to Mexico, they went everywhere else. You know where they weren't? They weren't in here in the United States of America, and they left these people behind, and it was absolutely disgusting. And you know what? They had incompetent politicians. That's what they were. These are people who have never accomplished anything in their lives. You have Biden, who has been a politician for 47 years. The guy has never once signed a paycheck. He's never created a job. By the way, these guys work harder before 5 a.m. than Biden has worked in the last 2 damn weeks. Literally, you have Biden, right? The guy hasn't come out of his basement in 2 weeks, right? He turns around to his wife yesterday. He goes, honey, where are we going tomorrow? Well, darling, we're going to Florida. It's like, you better well damn know you're going to Florida because you got to win the state. The guy doesn't know where he is. He doesn't know what the hell he's doing. Last week, he called Arizona, the state of Arizona. He called the city. He goes, it's great to be in the great city of Arizona. And I mean, it's unbelievable. He said he was running, Mr. Governor, you saw this. He said he was running for United States Senate. It's like, you might want to know the fact that you're running for Commander-in-Chief of the United States and not United States Senate. This guy doesn't know what he's doing. He doesn't know what he's saying, and it's actually horribly sad, and it's actually hard to believe that he's gonna. It might be. It's actually hard to believe that they're gonna let this guy debate. You know, I can't wait for it. I mean, the media has set such a low bar that if the guy's still breathing when he comes off stage, they're going to declare it a wonderful victory for Biden. It's kind of amazing how that is. But guys, before I go any farther, I gotta thank the former governor. Just absolutely incredible, the relationship you've had with my father for so long. We campaigned all over the place in 2016 together, and without making somebody blush, I've got a great friend here who's actually a Secret Service agent who worked as a Maine state trooper. And you are legendary. You are legendary. And I've heard the stories about how you put together more pay increases for troopers than arguably any governor in history. And he's told me that a million times, and you mean a lot to that person. You're not standing that far away from him, but you, I mean it. The respect you have and the respect that you've garnered from so many is incredible. And guys, by the way, guys, while I'm at it, I want to thank all law enforcement. You guys are incredible. The way you've been treated by the left is, it's outrageous. In fact, I would use a much different word if I wasn't on camera right now. They'll kill me for it. But the way you've been treated is absolutely outrageous. When you literally have Harris going around comparing law enforcement in a congressional hearing to the Gestapo and the KKK, when you have Biden going around saying, let's defund the police, let's reallocate their budgets, it's a disgrace. You are the best and brightest that we have in society. We love you. America appreciates you. And guys, I promise you, my father will never let you down. I promise you, he will never let you down. We love the men and women in this country in blue, and we are behind you the entire way. And when you see the nonsense that's happening in Portland, in Seattle, and you see the crap in Chicago, and look at, by the way, I'm embarrassed. I might move up, if it's okay with the governor, might move up to Maine when this whole thing's over. But you look at Comrade de Blasio in New York City, right? I mean, he defunds the NYPD. You know, they always talk about, we're not going to defund the police. Not that you're not going to. You already are, people. Like, you already are. De Blasio defunded the NYPD by $1 billion. Think about it, right? Then he eliminated all undercover law enforcement officers. And guess what? In 90 days, crime goes up by 300%. I know nothing about law enforcement. I could tell you that if you take $1 billion out of somebody's budget, you demoralize people, and you get rid of all undercover agents, it's pretty safe to say crime's going to go up. And you see what's happening in Seattle, where they're taking bricks and they're throwing them at cops, and they're taking pieces of PVC pipe, and they're sharpening an end, and they're hurling it through the air, and they're taking water bottles, they're freezing water bottles, and they're staging them around the place, and they're throwing them at... Guys, this is insane. You see the, assassination attempt 2 days ago, which came pretty damn close, where some lunatic goes up, and you know what you hear from the Democrat about this whole thing? Not a damn thing. They don't mention it at the DNC. They don't mention it anywhere. They don't come out. They don't condemn the violence. In fact, in Minneapolis, they do the exact opposite. They came out. The city council came out and said that the cops were the reason that there's violence on the streets. I mean, you cannot make this up. And guys, it's disgusting. And it's not just the war on law enforcement right now from the radical left. It's the war on Christianity. It's the war on religion. It's the war on family values. I see the beautiful girl sitting on your shoulders right now. And I mean, you see this war for some reason by the radical left on the nuclear family, and it's disgusting, and I don't understand it, right? I mean, you have states where, governors and mayors will allow liquor stores to be open, but churches aren't allowed to be open. And guys, you see the war on free speech in this country. If you're wearing a MAGA hat and you disagree with somebody and their political views, they'll try and cancel you and they'll try and ostracize you. These guys don't give a damn right here. I mean, I'm pretty sure that these guys are red, white, and blue to say the least, but they try and cancel your voice. You see the war on the Second Amendment in this country, which is absolutely insane. So the same people who want to get rid of all law enforcement also want to take away your guns. I haven't really figured that out, right? I mean, you go back a year, and it was kind of interesting. Well, why would you possibly need law enforcement? Now they want to take care of they want to get rid of your, gun, and they want to take care of law. I mean, guys, it's unbelievable. It's really, really sad. And then you look at their policies. Let's increase taxes by $4 trillion. 82% of people in the country would have a massive tax increase, right? You see, let's give all illegal immigrants, let's give them free health care. Kamala Harris wants to stop building a border wall that's literally stopped 95% of illegal crossings, put a tremendous dent in drug traffic. I was talking to a couple of DEA guys the other day, right? And they were saying, the price of, meth is up. It's literally 6 times higher than it's ever been, because guess what? It's a lot harder. It's not as much as coming across the southern border because the wall is working. Guys, we should be proud of this stuff, and we should be proud. We should be proud of all the things that this country is accomplishing. Look at the economy my father's created. Look at the industries. I mean, not just the lobster industry, not just fishing industries, but look at the industries he saved. We were getting ripped off by every country in the world. We were getting ripped off by China and Mexico and Vietnam and the European Union. We were getting ripped off by the World Health Organization. We were getting screwed by NATO. Guys, we were getting ripped off by everybody around the world. And you know what? They didn't do a single thing about it. They had no spine. They had no backbone. They weren't willing to stand up. Why did it take a real estate developer and a family that had nothing to do with politics, that knew nothing about politics? Why did it take them to stand up and actually solve the problems? Look at Middle Eastern peace yesterday. Guys, you had John Kerry out there every single day. John Kerry, he fell off his bike about 400 times. This guy should not be on a bicycle, right? But guys, you had John Kerry out there. You move the embassy, you're going to create a hornet's nest in the Middle East, and I'm an expert in Middle East. And guys, yesterday you have Bibi Netanyahu, and you've got all these leaders from the UAE and all these places, and they're sitting there and they're signing a beautiful deal, right? This is the hardest problem in the world. You've got cultures that disliked each other. You had religions that were adverse to each other. You had borders that were in dispute for thousands of years. You had different languages. You had different, problems. And here you have leaders at one table. You know what the media says the next day? So CNN writes an article today. Well, the world leaders weren't wearing masks. So you solved Middle Eastern peace. You can't come within 3 miles of the White House without having a COVID test, all right? I mean, let's just start off with that. And they say the problem with yesterday was the fact that, Bibi Netanyahu and my father weren't wearing a mask as they signed a deal that literally everybody said wasn't possible. I mean, guys, this is what we're dealing with. This is the nonsense that we're dealing with, the fake news. I mean, they're horrible, and 94% negative media coverage. But despite that, today in New Hampshire, there were hundreds of people, and as you roll in here, every single house had a Trump sign on it. And guys, people are prideful of this nation again. We love the red, white, and blue. We love the American flag. Why did it take a real estate developer out in New York to say, guys, we're not kneeling for the national anthem anymore. We're not doing it. We're not kneeling. We're standing for the national anthem. And guys, these guys are truly incompetent. And you look at Biden, right? I mean, again, here's a guy who said he was running for Senate. He said that Arizona was a city. He doesn't know where the hell he is. He won't go off teleprompter. He answered a question from a nice young, man or, lady the other day. I forget what it was. And 17-year-old, and he's literally saying, who's handling this best? Sean Hannity. He mentions it every single night. Scroll up, right? He's looking for the pre-scripted answer to a question from a high school student. I mean, how do you think Sir Governor, how do you think he's going to do against, like, President Xi of China, or, I mean, Putin? I mean, literally, the guy. It's unbelievable. It's unbelievable. And this is the best and brightest of the Democratic Party. And it's guys, it's horribly sad. And, so we have to do, what we have to do? We have to go out and vote. That's what we have to do. Hey, guys, they will try and cheat. Make no mistake about it. They will try and cheat. You see what's happening in New Jersey with the mail-in balloting, where, every house is going to get 3 different things because people change their name, they get married, they change their name, they move across the street. They just want to blanket these ballots all over to everybody. But, guys, it doesn't matter. You know why? Because we're going to beat them so bad, they're not going to know what happened. I mean, we have to. We have to. We have to for the lobster fishermen. We have to for the American flag. We have to for law enforcement in this country. We have to for people of faith in this country. We have to beat them for freedom. We won't have a country. We won't have a country. I mean, 180 million private health care plans. They want just gone, right? I mean, they want socialized medicine. Guys, this is nuts. I mean, this is. And I always say, a couple years ago, it really was, Democrats versus Republicans. You had little fringe issues, and we might have been on one side, and, they might have been on the other. And guys, this isn't Democrats versus Republicans anymore. This is right versus wrong. This is America versus tyranny. And it is the swamp. And you know what? I always thought that, when my father won, I'll never forget, New York Times gave him a 1.9% chance of winning the morning of election, right? And then he won, and he won very decisively. I always kind of thought that the media was going to come out and say, you know what, like, we missed what this is. We missed this, right? Biden's never had a crowd this large in this entire campaign, right? We missed the movement that was cropping up in the U.S. We got it wrong. Maybe we'll try and get out of our little, studios in New York City. Maybe we'll go try and figure this whole thing out. And it's amazing. They didn't. They actually did the exact opposite. They doubled down again, right? I mean, the same people that were crying. I did interviews with these people. I mean, the governor's done many interviews with many of the same people, and they're sitting there on election night on November 8th, and they're crying, and the tears are coming down. And guys, I can't wait to see what happens on November 3rd, because honestly, I mean, it's going to be amazing. So guys, what I promise you this. What I promise you is this, we as a family will never let you down. We will never let you down. My father is the last person in the world that needs this job. Believe me, his life, thank you. I know that. His life would be so much better not being in the swamp, not taking arrows every single day. But guys, he loves his country, and we as a family, we love this country. And this country would be unrecognizable under these people. And so here's what we're going to do. We're going to work 24/7 every single day between now and election. We've been at it for many, many months. And we're going to win this thing. And the last thing I need you guys to do, I need, first of all, you to get everybody out. You just have to vote, right? I mean, it's just very simple. We've got to vote, and we've got to vote in such numbers that they don't know what hit them. So that's number one. Second of all, I need everybody here, go out and watch the polls, right? The Democrats will try and cheat. You're seeing it again in Pennsylvania, and you're seeing it in New Jersey, and you're seeing it in Nevada. You're seeing what they're doing. You have to get out there, and you have to watch at the polls. Just promise me you'll get out there, spend a couple hours, watch the polls, come dressed in the American flag. And guys, we're going to keep America great. We're going to continue to stand up for God in this country. We're going to continue to stand up for the Second Amendment. We're going to continue to stand up for the incredible fishermen. And by the way, when this whole thing is over, I want to come out on one of the boats. I want to come out and hang out with you guys for a day. Go out, have a great time. But guys, we're going to win, and God bless all of you, and God bless Maine, and God bless the governor, and God bless all of you guys. We will never, ever let you down. We truly love you all, and guys, thank you. It's been an honor of a lifetime to be here with all of you today. So thank you, guys. Thank you very much. Thank you. Thank you. Hi, Linda. It's good to see you. Come here.
Driving down the street today, I saw a sign for lemonade. They were the cutest kids kids I'd ever seen.